Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together the 3 Chicks Easter card, which is a box card from Simply Crafty SVGs. So here's the card. You can see it folds flat to put in an envelope, and you see all the parts here. All these parts are for the card. There's an envelope for it as well, but I'll show you at the end. But as you can see, it says Happy Easter, and you could change the colors around, but the way I have it is a white background with this little pastel rainbow Easter. Happy with the different colors, but it would just as well be in one color. I mean, you can change things around. I know the chicks are typically yellow, so they're going to be the same color, but there's a little flexibility. We have some panels here that you could add, but it only has one little insert. Just a fun little Easter card. So here are the pieces, so I'm going to put that aside. So there's lots of little pieces for this. So what we'll do, let's focus on, here's the card. Let me just put that aside. The card will go step by step. We'll do some of the piecing now. This goes little panels that will go on top of the card. So I'm just moving things around. Let me move that card around. Oops. Okay. So here's the pieces of the chicks, and this goes with the chicks, and I'll show you how that goes together. And this little happy, these 3 parts are part of the happy. So as I put it together, you'll know which parts to pull. I'm just kind of explaining them. This is the flags, obviously. The eggs. I had a piece in there that didn't belong. We had the flowers, the flower middles, and the little flag portions in here. So I keep them in here so I don't lose them. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pop them out. Let's go ahead and work on this flag first. It's fairly easy. Like I said, you could cut it. We have little flower middles, so I'm kind of moving those aside. Let's move the flowers and the middles to the side. I'm going to pull these out here. Okay, so I have it going kind of traditional rainbow, which is usually red, then orange. So these are all pastel though. Yellow, green, blue, purple. But some people might just want to do it in one color. I'm just making sure all the texture side is up because I'm using textured cardstock. And I have white as the background, but some people might not like that. So you could always have a darker background, or like I said, just change up the colors. So all we're going to do here is each flag, it'll fit right on. So you're just going to glue them on. So I'm just going to add glue around the backs, around each of the letters. I'm going to go ahead and use my fine tip applicator. Just going to add glue. Just be really, I went a little bit strong on this, but just lightly around the opening. And then what you're going to do is just go, I guess this is a flag by flag, and you can see there's a shaped part. So each of these flag sections kind of go above this little curve to emulate flags on a string or rope. So we'll just go ahead and add the rest of them so you can watch me do that. Okay, now this is done, ready to put on when we get to that part. And just make sure you put little dots of glue obviously behind like the S areas. I had my cutter kind of cut up here, but the cut's fine. If you can see that, it's kind of off a little bit. Anyway, we're going to put that aside. And then we have, let's do these flowers really quick. I'm not going to put the middles on, but we have 2 different size flowers. You could make as many flowers as you want, but there's 4 of them, 2 of each size. And as you can see, they just go, I just have them going up here. So you could just add the middles to them. If you want to add the middles, you could do that. I have decided that I'm going to use some enamel dots for the middles instead of that, but I have them just in case. But you can see I'm just going to add a little enamel dot to the middle. But we'll just do that. I can do that right now, actually. So it's up to you whether you want to have the middle. Sometimes you want a little dimension. So something like an enamel dot or Nuvo drops is another way to add dimension. If you've never tried those before, it kind of creates the same kind of look. I have 2 different sizes here, so these are Doodle Design sprinkles. I'm trying to look for other types. It is kind of high, so it'll create a little thickness to the card. But this particular one, it's up to you what you want to do, but sometimes I do a lot of hand carry to my family. So this one most likely will be hand carried. I think this one's going to end up in my mother's house. I keep a lot of my 3D projects and my some of my boxes, except when it comes to Christmas cards. Usually I give away. So I usually, once I make the cards, they're gone out of my room. So you can put the middles on. That's what those are for. This is a handy dandy tool to put them on if you don't want to use something like that. But I want to include it with the file. So I'm going to put these back in this little embellishment bowl, because I'm not going to use them. But I did use them on this card, as you can see. So I'll put that aside. So I'd like to get the details out of the way, like that, the tedious stuff, so when we just can concentrate on putting the card together at the end. So here is another, I don't want to say tedious, but you have to piece them together. So here's all the pieces. The nice part is these are all the same size, so they're all going to go like that. They're going to glue to the back there, and then each one's going to go together a certain way. The way you'll know which one is which is matching this up. So that it's the egg. So I do know the middle has, this is the middle has a little curlicue thing. So the one standing up has that little curlicue. So that's different, and that's the only one, the only face without an egg on the bottom. So that's easy. So let's go ahead and match these up. Make sure we got to see that's the wrong one. So these are all different. I don't want to make them the same. So that one, so let's go ahead and just stack them. And I know this one, so basically what you want to do is line them up. And then these are interchangeable, but I have this is the right one. So, but it isn't really, because the way it fits, I have it fitting with that bottom of the egg piece too. So that one is to the right. So I'm showing you all this because this could be a challenge for some. And then this one is the left guy, and you can see that egg fits, there's a little cut, that'll fit right there. So get all those set together how they're supposed to go, and then we're going to go ahead and line them up. So I'll do all of them. They're all basically, these two are the same. The biggest thing is to make sure you have the right pieces together. So here, what I would do, so with these pieces, with these little sets, You need a black piece and an orange piece, and this one with that standing up needs that tall piece for the legs. So see, these are the same. Since these are the same, let's go ahead and just add glue. I'm getting low on my glue. Be careful that you don't get glue on that. I got glue on it, but I hit it. So we're just gluing that together to get that ready. Same thing here. And this will go behind the faces. So what you'll see is something like this. Can line that up. So the best thing to do here is to just add glue around the eyes. Just be careful of the openings. Do not get glue near the openings. Just go around it, kind of dot around, put a little bit around the openings, but not close. Oops, don't drop it. And we're going to go ahead and carefully line this up. So not having the glue next to the openings gives me a second, just in case I'm off a little bit. Glue on my fingertips. So there's that. And so we'll do the same with this one. I'll make sure I keep my eggs in the right place. And the beaks are slightly different, but you do need to line these up correctly. Make sure I get a little glue in here. So again, I'm just going to hold that down. Just move it carefully down. Then move it around until you'll just see black in the eyes. And then you'll see the beak. So that's what it looks like on the back. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and place that. So I'm going to do this one and then put this on. And I think it would be cute with a little foam tape. But let me get these two together and then I'll come back and show you the rest of it. I decided I needed to show you at least one. So this one's together. But I'll show you how I did that. So we have this piece. Make sure it's lined up with the right piece on the bottom before you start this. You line it up. It lines up on the bottom and the sides. And you kind of can see from the back. And then I used a little foam tape to pop up the broken egg part. And I just have to get it lined up so I can see it. Okay, and then this one is slightly different. So I wanted to show you that separately. So it's not much different here, so I could have put this on before I went through the process. You can see you don't need that much glue. Just get that black piece on for the eyes. Have a little glue showing through. So here's the difference. It's going to go like this. Then this. Than that. So it's just a different kind of layering. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing we did here. The difference is we're going to go, whoops, I didn't need the whole body, by the way, just the middle around the eyes. So you only need right here, but It's not going to hurt anything because we're going to have to glue it on that anyways. So I just have to make sure I keep the glue. Let's go ahead and wipe it off. So just down the middle where this is going to hit. It's a little bit outside, like I said, but I just refilled my glue bottle, so it's flowing a little bit fast. Okay. Right in the middle of the video, I'm out of glue. So we're going to do the same we did before. Line up the eyes first. The eyes happen to be just slightly larger than the holes. And if you wanted to, you could glue this orange piece down to get it in the right place. In fact, I probably would recommend that, because we're going to line those legs up. So you can either put glue on the, just going to lightly put glue on these legs. Just making sure it's lined up. You see it kind of lines up down at the bottom there. It is a little bit off. And then I'm going to add this little egg piece on top. There it is. We got the 3 chicks, 3 amigos. So now they're ready to put on the card. Now we could wait to put it on the front of the card, but you want to put it on the middle. So let's go ahead and take this middle insert. Put these guys over here. And that's just going to fit right there. Right there. So we're just going to fit it in. So I'm just going to eyeball where it goes down here. Just don't go any further. I mean, it goes a little bit down here, but you can add the glue up here. And just fit it into the shape. So I'm going to go sidewards and start with a wing. Line the wing up. I'm going to flip it around, make sure it's lined up with the other wing. Nothing but a chicken wing. And I'm kind of flipping it over to see if I'm off a little bit. That's a nice part about wet glue. You can kind of shift it around. So we have it in the middle insert. Like I said, there's only one insert on here. So we'll wait to put it on the front. It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but I just want to make sure I don't have the bulkiness on front. So let's go ahead and add actually, we're going to wait to do that too. You could do that before you put it together, but it's going to be easier to place it after we have those guys on there. So now we're going to put together the actual card a little bit. We're going to put the insert in as we assemble the card, but we'll put the panels on, these front panels and these little chickadees on last. The thing you want to pay attention to is that I have textured paper. I'm using American Crafts textured. So what you want to do is, if you cut it the way that it's in the file, you want to flip for this back piece. We're going to glue this to the back, but we want the non-textured side to show. And the reason is, whichever side, this is not symmetrical either way. So we flip it over here. If you do the other side, I mean, you can make it work. So if you want this side to show on the front, which you can, just know that you need to flip this around or it has to be situated a certain way. So you could just know that it'll work either way. So with that in mind, we'll put the textured side on the outside. I wasn't quite sure until just now. And the reason I wasn't doing it, I just wanted to double check, because I'm going to cover the other side, so I might as well cover the non-textured side. My mat is moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and add glue to this little side tab here. And then we'll line this edge up. Make sure it's a flat edge. The top part's for the kind of the signage. And then I'm just lining it up. And there you go. So once we get it closed, we're going to put this on and just make sure it's the right way. Like I said, it can flip either way. So now let's go ahead and add this insert while it's still open. So I'm going to flip them back like that. Flip the tabs back. I'm going to glue one of the tabs. So we're going to glue this one. And you want it to just to the left of this fold. So if you can see this fold, we're just going to go left, making sure that that edge is parallel to it. You can line it right up to it if you like, if it helps you. And make sure it's upside down, because this is the back we're looking at and the front's down. I'm trying to line up the top there so you can see before it gets down. We'll line it up, make sure it's matching this bottom edge here, and then we're going to go ahead and it's just going to just to show you. It's going to glue like that. So like this. So we're first going to glue this. So you just fold it back like this. So once you get it here, fold this back like this. See, that puts it right where it needs to be. You can see I haven't closed it yet, but so that's glued. So what's easy about this is that now we just do this. Fold over and glue on this tab. And it gets your folded, it gets it ready to be flat, in the right position, straight, everything. I don't know why I didn't do box cards like this years ago. I was taught one thing because I was watching others, and then of course I tried my own thing. So now I'm just going to naturally fold it the way that it's going this way. That's kind of flying behind it, but it's okay. So now let's go ahead and add, we can do a number of things, but let's do the front one. The fronts and sides. So these are just the little side panels. I just printed some pattern paper and inked it. It's nice and springy looking. And so you can see there's an edge around it, and the same thing here. So let's go ahead and get these guys on first, actually. You see they line up right there. So I'm just going to add glue to a little bit. You don't have to go like all to the edges. Just don't go up near the little hair pieces because it doesn't attach there. I did that on purpose. I don't want to really get, sometimes people want to mess around with layers and stuff, and that gets kind of, can cause some issues. So that's lined up, and then we get this line. Let me get this out of the way. Get this other guy in. It's pretty simple. The crux of this is really a lot of layering. Yell that, layering. So if you don't want to get glue on that middle guy, you could always fold it the other way. It might get a little wonky the other way. Just sometimes that happens when you fold it one way versus another. It still folds flat, but it's the tabs. It's the way the tabs glue. So now there's going to be an edge around the eggs as well as the sides and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and place this carefully. I mean, you get, of course, closer to the eggs, further from the eggs if you want. Oops. Didn't get it placed right. It's really the middle that needs to be spaced a little bit more than anything else. So that can really guide you, that little cutout. So let's get this other piece here. Almost forgot that other side panel. So let's go ahead and what I'm going to do with these side pieces. So this is the, I'm going to have it go under and have this go over. So I'm going to have it kind of go over a little bit. Okay, the most important thing here is just to have a little bit above this. So above this corner. You don't have to have it way up, but, and it's really, so that's the placement because we want this to overlap. Kind of look like a sign. Okay, so you can go up as far as you want. You don't want to go too far because else the bottom part will show. But I didn't want you to have to slide too much in because it gets the look without having to do that. So you can go up as much as that. Just make sure the edges are lined up. And I embossed it with a wood grain embossing folder. Got a little glue down there so it was stuck. I'm going to go about the same amount so it's consistent on the bottom. And this one, just make sure you have it situated correctly so these line up. So if you went this way, it wouldn't line up. If you go this way, it will. So line that up. And then we'll put the happy sign together. So with any piecing, it's just sometimes it's hard to get it matched up, especially when you emboss something. But I have a little wiggle room here. You could even make the card brown so you don't have to worry if you want a brown tone on the back. Or what I'm going to do is once I get it on, if it's a little bit off, I'm just going to go ahead and ink the edges a little bit. I didn't add a panel to the back because I figured if you wanted to, you could just add a rectangle there, or you could put it here just to put who it's from. If you use a light colored card, you could just write right on there. So that's up to you. So the only couple things to do are really the Happy Easter and the flowers. So we have this piece, the way it lines up. So let me go ahead and put the card over here so it's out of our way. So how it lines up is this, and I wanted to show you this because this could happen to you. This will be like this. So these little openings are the A, P, P, and the H opening, but you notice there's no opening in the Y. So I'm just going to poke it through. This is a little bit too big. Get a pin here. If your machine does this, that's a little Y. I kind of tore it from the back. but that'll do the Y opening. So we're just gonna, this is how it's gonna layer. Like that. So we can do this little piece first. I just make sure that I'm gluing on the non-textured side. I'm just going to add a little glue and be careful not to get too close to the holes. Then we'll just line this up, the blue on the back, so it looks like they're blue middles. And then here's the part that you kind of have to be careful of right here. Just, this is not as tall, so, because I don't want it showing on the edge too much. So you see it's going to line up like that. So what I do here is just add glue around here. You just want to be careful about where you add your glue in the openings, because you need a little wiggle room so you can get it in place. I didn't need to put the glue over there, by the way, but since I have, we're gonna adjust. I shouldn't have put glue on there, but what's done is done. So I'm gonna line it up. Try not to hit the glue. Oops, you don't want to do that. So that's what you don't want to do, but I did. So you can see I didn't use too much glue, so it's showing through, but it lines up there. One thing I noticed I didn't do, remember I have glue still on the back edges here. Make sure you hit the other side of these pieces. Otherwise they'll stick up. So I'm going to just flip it up and hit a dot of glue on the back. So that's all the glue down. So you didn't need to add glue there, just in the middle. So now we're just going to go ahead and add the glue to the rest of it. And center it here. Of course, you could always put something completely different on this card and not use the banner or the happy. It's up to you. And then if you want to eyeball where you think you want it, I don't have a hard and fast rule, but you can see I'm kind of doing it so that it's tall enough so this is in between the S and the T, and it's under happy. So you can add glue a little bit on this side. Oops. So see where you're at right here? So you can add glue kind of like underneath here and on that part, and up to like the half the E and half the top of the R. So basically, know where you're going to place it, but we're going to add some glue like this. Oops, don't drop it. And we'll do the same thing. I'm doing like half of this first flag, and then I went a little bit too far for that. So you could put it on more, but I just want to get it right on the edges. Go higher. I'm going to make sure it's straight. So there it is. So go ahead, and it flattens better that way, but it'll sit up. So I can show you sitting up. You can't really see it, but it does sit up fine. Then we'll go ahead and just add these flowers arbitrarily. Again, you could add more flowers if you wanted to. You can curl the ends a little bit. So these are curled. You can see these are curled up a little bit, and I just use the end of a stylus to do that. These I'm just going to keep flat. So I finished putting on the flowers, and I actually add the little white accents with the white gel pen. I use a Sakura gel pen. I just misplaced it here. This is the one I like. It's called a Sakura. It's made by Sakura, but it's Jelly Roll. So it's a white gel pen. And I just added just little accents to the eyes. So now we're just going to do, the only thing left to do is to make the envelope. So here's the envelope. So this big part right down here is the bottom, and then you can see it sits in there, and then sides, and then the top. So we're just going to go ahead and put that together. So these fold in, this glues. I do my envelopes different every time just to play around with them. So you can see I just kind of eyeball where the glue needs to go. So come right here, and then you can do one side at a time if you want, or both. I'm challenged, so I need to do one side at a time. Oops. But don't pull the other side. However you do it, just make sure you don't get glue on a part that touches the inside. And if you need to, what I do with my fine tip applicator, if I'm not close enough to the edge, I just add glue around the edge there. Just kind of reach in. And then when you close it, you'll just add glue. So the pointy part of this is the top. And then you could just add either your own glue or whatever to close it, or tape it. It depends on whether you send it. So, to show you it fits. If you did like this project, I'd appreciate a little thumbs up or subscribe. You can see it flattens to send, but then it just pops up for it to display. Then this will slide in there gently and close. So there we go. So I have two ready to send. So I made them almost exactly the same with just different variations, but you can change the look with the pattern paper. So I do hope that you enjoyed this project if you made it. And again, give me a thumbs up, please. And thank you so much for watching.